Welcome into the Cowboys Report, presented today by Roan. I'm wearing one of their commuter collection shirts, and if you're trying to find something comfortable for the office and after work, Roan is perfect for you. Get 20% off your order when you go to roan.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports. Tell you all about them later on in today's show. A ton of draft rumors out there for the Cowboys, but as many of you know, on one of our recent live shows, our Giants host, Marshall Green, F. Marshy in the comment section, didn't tell us we were doing a Super Chat battle. So now we're not going to tell him that we're doing a shares battle. That will help inform which channel gets to be live, since the Giants and Cowboys have back-to-back picks in the first round for this year's NFL Draft. So help us out, help us win this battle, and stick it to Marshall. Share this video right now on social media, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Help us out. Every single share goes a very long way. We're going to begin today's show with the Peter Schrager NFL Network mock draft. And it's got some pretty good insight, and it's a bit of a different mock draft as well. Some players we haven't talked about that much around the Cowboys picks. First up, the 5 players who went off the board, all guys who have been linked in some capacity to the Dallas Cowboys. I'll make note that Jackson Smith and Jigba, Bijan Robinson, those guys were long gone here. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid was long gone too. Michael Mayer, Darnell Wright, Jordan Addison, Brian Branch, and Zay Flowers all off the board in the previous 5 picks. So a name we haven't had that much discussion on as it relates to the Cowboys is the pick from Peter Schrager. Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama is the selection, who I think in terms of there's always going to be some semblance of disagreement, pretty close to the majority second running back in this year's class behind Bijan Robinson. And he's a fantastic football player. Talking about a very explosive, dynamic athlete who really was, outside of course, Bryce Young, the only really truly reliable playmaking talent on the Alabama offense this past year. He was actually their leading receiver, 926 yards on the ground, 444 yards in the air. I get vibes of Alvin Kamara, Jamal Charles, 4.36 40. He's got kick return value. There's a lot of some Tony Pollard in his game in terms of the play style, the similar concerns of, he's not a great pass blocker right now. The contact balance wasn't great coming out. Pollard's got a lot better with that, by the way. Not sure he's ever going to be a true workhorse player. Gibbs and Pollard as a duo would be about as electric as it gets. You'd get chunk plays consistently, and there's some pass-catching third down value there as well. It's also a running back, and that's a bit of an issue. Some other notable players on the board. Myles Murphy was there. I might just take that one for the value alone and, plug and play at edge and maybe move on from Dorance Armstrong, which we'll get to in a moment here on today's show. Darnell Washington was the next best tight end since Kincaid and Michael Mayer were gone. Steve Avila's there, Will McDonald, Quentin Johnston also on the board. So knowing who was there, and I'll give some more thoughts on Gibbs overall, grade this pick for me. A, B, C, D, or F. It is the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of the ad. Head down there, let us know. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to go more like a C+-ish, maybe talk me into a B-. Gibbs is a gifted running back, and I do think there's a scenario, not as it played out in this mock draft, where he's one of, if not the best players left on your board. I've got a first/second round grade. I don't know he'll be a top 25 player for me. I'd also prefer not to draft him because of the positional value concerns that go along with a running back. Not that we're better guys on the board. I think I'd prefer a Myles Murphy. Will McDonald will have a not too dissimilar grade from Gibbs. Same with a Quentin Johnston. And Avila is a lower grade, but, plug and play at guard. O-line really helps you there in the end. So we'll talk more about some rumors out there for the Cowboys, the Dorance Armstrong trade I teased, plus Ezekiel Elliott. But first, today's show is all made possible by Roan. You can get 20% off your order at roan.com/chatsports when you use code chatsports. Because men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Roan has stepped up to the challenge. The Commuter Collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and they've got you covered across the board here, folks, with polos, dress pants, dress shirts like the one I'm wearing today. It can get you through your workday and straight into whatever comes next, because mobility is everything, and I'm a big fan of the look good, feel good, I guess draft good in this case mindset, and Roan's perfect for that. straight through the workday into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports. Save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Find your corner office comfort today and upgrade your closet. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. Moving on now to Dorance Armstrong. He's been mentioned as a trade candidate by Blogging the Boys, something we've discussed a little bit in the past, so we'll go more in depth on just Dorance Armstrong here. Dallas has been linked to defensive end in the draft. They've shown plenty of interest, in particular in Will McDonald out of Iowa State, who would probably be a potential first-round pick. I don't think he's going to get to you at all in the top with your 58th overall pick in the second round. That's just not going to happen. So in the event you draft a defensive tackle early, you got to free up snaps for that guy. Armstrong would be a prime trade candidate. You save 4.2 if you trade him during this year's draft, which would probably be your preference. 5.75, maybe what you would do is carry him through training camp in the preseason and ensure there are no extra injuries, because that's always a red flag. But there's already a pretty decent numbers game in a good way. It's a good problem to have at defensive end because Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence are there. Then it's Dorance Armstrong. I want to get more reps for Sam Williams as this upcoming season. Dante Fowler is back on as re-signed with the team. Tack McKinley is probably not going to make the roster. Chauncey Golston will play inside-outside. And I'm open to moving on from Dorance Armstrong because which version are you getting? The first 11 games this year, Dorance Armstrong was awesome. He was playing like, I'll be honest, he was on pace to have a Pro Bowl year. He's going to have double-digit sacks. 8 sacks in 11 games, 7 TFLs. He had 12 quarterback hits, 30 pressures. He was getting after it. Now, he was a little bit banged up down the stretch, but it was a half sack in 8 games and 2 TFLs, a handful of pressures. Everything really regressed for Dorance Armstrong, and the issue I have here is there's a really good, roughly 1-year sample size back end of last year, first end of this year. And outside of that, there's really not much production from Dorance Armstrong. So which was the fluke, the beginning of the career or the middle part? And that's what I'm not sure with yet. We'll spend some more time here on DA, but what would you do with him? T for trade or K for keep in the comment section. This is very much based on if you draft a defensive end early. I'm fine to keep Dorance Armstrong on this team as the roster's currently constructed, but if you spend a top 75-ish pick on a defensive end, I'm going to try to maximize that super young, talented, cheap player. Again, not saying Dorance Armstrong is not talented or he's actually still pretty young, but if you draft that defensive end early, I got to get him on the field. Not looking to waste in quotes, a top 50, top 75 pick on a player who's not going to contribute a ton in year one. So if you do take a defensive end early, I think it's a, group text by the other 31 NFL GMs of Dorance Armstrong's available. Send us your best offer. That's what I would do in the event you do move on from Dorance Armstrong. Some more notes on a player linked to Dallas at defensive end. But first, channel might go sub only, folks, at the NFL draft if we don't get to 154.5K subscribers. I'm tired of the non-Cowboys fans chiming in there. This is the number set by the bosses. So if we don't get there, might go sub only. If we do, or no, we're not putting you in charge, Jeremy. Absolutely not. That one's not going to happen. But if we do go sub only, then you got to be subscribed so you don't miss out. Hit that button right now. Byron Young is I think this might be the last 30 visit for the Cowboys. I believe the deadline is tomorrow for those. He is a 30 visit for the Dallas Cowboys, one of the official pre-draft visits, and a pretty good sign that the Cowboys have either something big they want to get answered or just have interest in the player. He ran a 4.440 at 250 pounds. That is awesome. Now, the reason why you're not seeing, okay, this dude's 250 and he's a freak athlete, why is he getting Nolan Smith-esque love? Oh, well, he's 25 years old, and he doesn't have that much production in his time at college. I didn't love his run stopping. I think I don't love him in the second round, but, that late third round, fourth round range, I think there's some good value there. Probably going to be more of a situational pass rusher, and you do get a little bit worried about that when you're talking about a 25-year-old prospect. To put it in perspective, like we talk about age a lot here and why that stuff tends to matter. You know who else is 25 years old? Dorance Armstrong. So we're talking about Dorance Armstrong almost being done with his second contract. He's the same age as Byron Young is. Now, Armstrong will turn 26 at some point this year, so it's a half-year difference, but that is significant. That's why the Cowboys are patient with Dorance Armstrong, because imagine Dorance Armstrong right now in the college football level. That would be, he dominates. So that's why, only 7 sacks, whatever, over his career. Like, there's some red flags there. Let's move now to Ezekiel Elliott, we're doing this one again. PFN has speculated on a potential Zeke return based on I think we hit it at one point this past week. I don't know, everything's a blur to me these days when it's draft weeks coming up here. He was photographed at the Dak field, Dak's backyard. He built the football field on, and guys like Simi Fehoko, others were there training with Dak and working out, and Zeke was there too. Therefore, Zeke's coming back. Don't know about that one. Put yourself in Ezekiel Elliott's shoes. You don't have an NFL team right now to go train for. You can continue to train with your own trainer, but if you want to get some reps in with other NFL players, isn't the best spot to do that at your best friend's backyard? You got the 50 whatever it is long yard football field? I think that's a bit more of a nothing burger than it is like a clear sign Zeke's going to return. Like, by the way, there are other NFL players not on the Cowboys who tend to spend some time there, including probably your favorite NFL quarterback. So do you want to bring back Ezekiel Elliott? We'll go more in depth on this and why I don't have very much interest. Shocking, I know. But you can vote in the comment section. You'd make him number 15 if you did, by the way. Y for yes, N for no in the comment section. I'm just going to draft somebody. Look, there's a scenario maybe in which the board never falls the right way, so you never draft a running back and you don't sign many UDFAs, and you go, well, sure, we can bring back Zeke there. But I find it very unlikely, whether it's the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, hell, even the fifth round, that the Cowboys aren't on the clock going, hey, we have this dude graded above where we're currently sitting, we should take him. It is such a good running back class with depth all throughout the first couple of rounds. I would be fairly shocked if the Cowboys didn't spend a top 130 pick on a running back. And that guy would play a decently sized role, because I think you're getting really good value, a guy that in a normal class might go in the third round even, or at least a full round earlier. And then you've got Tony Pollard, Ronald Jones, Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle. You don't need Zeke at that point. And vet minimum, there's still some value there for Elliott. It's going to be at a vastly reduced workload, and I don't think Zeke's market has been what he was hoping it was going to be, but I don't find a return to Dallas to be a potentially likely outcome in the end.